Hey, what's going on everyone? Rocky here with 75 South Gardening. This is Container Gardening Part 6. So right now, I'm in the process of removing all of my old pepper plants that have stopped producing flowers and replacing them with my fall plants. I'll also be removing the Roma tomato plants that I have left because they take forever to ripen. Now with that being said, you don't have to remove your pepper plants if you're starting to notice that they aren't producing flowers. All you have to do is go ahead and fertilize your plants, especially if you're starting to notice your leaves being discolored like the ones that you see here. Now for those of you that have a frost date coming up, you want to keep in mind that from the time you see the small pepper like this one, it takes about 30 days with most varieties for them to become a mature size. Now right here in the front, these are the 3 plants that you all seen me prune earlier in this series. So about a week ago, I went ahead and replaced some of those old plants with lettuce, spinach, and a few of my collards. But as you can see, the lettuce plants here have a little damage from the hurricane that passed through. And this is the only container that survived. And here's my transplants that didn't make it past the heavy rainfall of the storm. So right here we have spinach and another lettuce plant. So what I'm going to do is leave the lettuce there to see if it grows back. I'm going to take a few of my spinach transplants and plant them in solo cups and take them inside just to see if they recover. And if they do, I'll transplant them again later outdoors. Now over here with the collards, it only ripped a few leaves and they're going to be just fine. But right here in my 20 gallon, these are the leftover transplants that I have left that were given to me by the neighbor. I have a few lettuce, another spinach, and a cabbage. Now for those of you that have been wondering why the transplants are so nice and green when you get them from the store, it's because they are loaded with a slow release fertilizer. And that's what those green balls are. Now I also have my own transplants that I'll be transplanting today. These are the broccoli transplants and collards that you all seen me plant in the video on what to grow in the month of September. So I'll be planting a few of my broccoli transplants today. So I'll probably be thinning out half of this tray, and most of them will go into the corner garden. As for the collards, I'm going to wait until they get a little bigger because I don't have space for them right now. So right now I'm down in my main cage, and the only thing that I'll be doing here today is planting broccoli in the 3 20-pound grow bags on the outside where I have my Roma tomatoes growing. Now for anyone that's wondering where the caterpillars are coming from on your brassicas, they're coming from this white moth that you see here. So I'm going to let my Roma tomatoes grow for another 3 weeks before removing them because they take a very long time to ripen. And once I remove those, I'll probably go ahead and plant either collards or cabbage in the other 3 20-gallon containers. Now, anytime you start to see this white moth, you might as well go ahead and spray your plants with BT. They will also lay eggs in your tomatoes. So if you ever see them on your plants, just go ahead and spray them with BT. And once those eggs hatch, they will eat the BT and die off. So what I'm going to go ahead and do Just grab one of the 5-gallon containers here and take it to the back porch. I'll plant one broccoli plant in this 5-gallon bucket, and then we'll compare it to the 20-gallon grow bag. Now in my 20-gallon grow bags, I'll be planting 2 per bag. And what I'm going to do in my container here is add fresh compost and mix it up really good before transplanting my new broccoli plants. So right here in my 20-pound grow bag, I have 2 strawberry plants. So what I'll be doing is removing these and planting them in a smaller container. I also have a pole bean that was growing, but as you can see, the storm has pretty much ripped it also. So I'm going to leave it in there just to see if it recovers. And I'll plant one broccoli plant here and the other over here. So the first step before transplanting my new broccoli seedlings is going to be to add an all-purpose, slow-release organic fertilizer to my compost. Now the rules on the back of the bag say 1 cup per cubic foot. And since this is a 20-gallon container, that's going to be about 2.5 cups. So I'm going to add a little more and just do 3. And what you want to do is work this down into the soil really good. Water it in, and after you water it in, you want to go ahead and transplant your new seedlings. Now that I have my soil prepared, I can go ahead and add my seedlings. These have been soaking for about 20 minutes. And they're now ready to transplant into the new container. Just look how easy it comes apart. When growing broccoli, the most important rule is timing. You want to make sure that it's not too hot outside, because that will cause your plants to bolt. You have to remember that broccoli is a cool season crop, and it doesn't like high temps. High temps will cause the plants to bolt. You also want to space your plants anywhere from 12 to 18 inches apart in containers and raised beds. You also want to make sure that your soil is staying evenly moist at all times. And the best way to do that is to simply add mulch, grass clippings, or even shredded leaves. And here's a sneak peek of the corner garden. And down to the left here, I have 2 cabbages growing. And for the person that asks, why do I have the tomato cages here? It's simply because there is a branch hanging in the tree, and it's going to fall soon. And I don't want it to damage my cabbage. And down here to the right, I'm thinking about planting more cabbage in the raised bed. And these are the broccoli transplants that I did earlier. And over here, this is one of the last bell pepper plants from the corner garden. Down here in this raised bed, we have collards and kale. And I'll be planting more collards right here in this raised bed. Right in the back, there's more kale. So I have all of my broccoli transplants done in my main cage. I even went ahead and planted more cabbage in the raised beds. I've also planted cabbage in a 5-gallon bucket and an 8-gallon container here, just for comparison. And down here I have red Russian kale. Now you can grow them in smaller containers, like the 3-gallon here, but it's going to stunt the growth of the plant if it's not a container variety. For example, if you're growing a larger variety of cabbage, it's going to grow a smaller head in a container that size versus the 5-gallon or the 8-gallon or even the 20-gallon here. So in 2 weeks, I'll be giving you guys an update so you can see the difference in size. And for those of you that are growing in containers this year, leave a comment and let me know which crops grow best in containers for you. And that's pretty much it for today's video, you guys. Always remember to plan your garden with your health in mind.